Hey.
Hey guys, I'm Timo.
And I'm Jason.
And we are blogging out today about one of my favorite books, which is being turned into a movie, finally.
Surprisingly.
Well, you know, it's been in development for a long time, and I followed the development of the Ender's Game movie. I even talked with the author Orson Scott Card about it way back in like 1999. And then it was going to be directed by Wolfgang Peterson, and it was being produced by Warner Brothers, and then he went and did 3 or 4 other movies that were kind of crappy, and I was sort of like, ooh.
Wolfgang Peterson?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, well, you know, whatever, and I didn't really hear anything else about it. Well, then just a couple weeks ago, another video blogger that I follow posted on his Twitter the first still image from the Ender's Game film, which I didn't even know was being made. Turns out it's already been shot. It was shot in the first 4 months of 2012. For every awesome thing that I read where I'm like, whoa, no, that's really cool, there's another thing that I read that I'm like, oh dear God, I don't know what to think.
Right.
So what I know so far is Harrison Ford is in it.
Yes, he
plays Colonel Graff.
Colonel Graff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ben Kingsley is in it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Major Rackham.
He plays Major Rackham, which, I mean, that casting could not be better, I don't think.
I agree.
And then the one that I'm sort of curious / concerned / interested in is obviously Ender, who's being played by Asa Butterfield. And he played Hugo in Martin Scorsese's Hugo that just came out a couple years ago. Well,
which I loved.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, and I'd like to see it. I've put it on my list now. But I'm sort of worried about it, but I'm also excited. I mean, I'm excited about it because obviously, this kid attracted the attention of Martin Scorsese. So clearly he's got something special, right? So maybe he's going to be really great. But on the other hand, he's 15.
Right.
Which means they're not doing the book where Ender goes from being 6 to being 12. They're doing teenage Ender.
They don't have the age range.
Right. Then I know they don't have the age range.
Because the book is 6 to
12.
12, yeah.
Or 13, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like a huge age range.
It is. And the director has specifically said that they've collapsed it down into a year.
Right.
So anyway, the other reason I'm worried about Asa Butterfield is he's British, and Ender is not British. So I see 2 possibilities. Either A, they made Ender British, not likely, or B, this British kid is going to be doing an American accent, which
more likely
could be really cool, but isn't that just one more thing for the actor who's young and inexperienced to have to concentrate on while he's trying to play this complicated character and all this kind of stuff? So I'm that just makes me worried.
Well, that happens with a lot of actors. Though.
I know. But this isn't just a lot of actors, and this isn't a lot of books and a lot of movies. This is my favorite book of all time that I'm completely not objective about. I'm completely not rational about. I've been in love with this book since I was 14 years old, and there's no, this has never happened to me before. I've never had a book or a comic or anything like that could be adapted that I cared so much about. So I'm sort of out of sorts on this, really. So you're not worried about casting?
I'm not too worried about casting. Well, first of all, how involved is Colonel Graff? Because from the still,
he's right there.
He's in a position. He's in the barracks. He was never in the barracks in the book, from what I remember. He was never in the barracks.
He was way more detached.
Which is okay. I can kind of deal with that also, because their dynamic needs to be a certain thing. It's what's more important is how they capture the dynamic.
Right. So the director is also a thing that sort of is seems like a really good thing, but also could be a really bad thing in the same package. And it's this guy called Gavin Hood, and he is from South Africa, and he directed and wrote apparently this Oscar-winning film called Tsotsi. Yes.
Have not seen it, but I've heard it's good.
Exactly. But then he also directed X-Men Wolverine, which I heard was horrible.
Not horrible. It does not live up to the X-Men.
Right. And that's the thing, is that I'm worried.
It doesn't even live up to X-Men 3, which is, saying something.
So for me, I think the thing I'm worried about is are we which one are we going to get? Are we going to get an Oscar-winning director, or are we going to get Wolverine turned in? Are we going to get a bunch of kids in green screens and battle suits in space, and it's just awful? I mean,
also, how much of Battle School will there be, and how much of after Battle School?
Command School, right?
Command School, yeah, because Battle School was 2/3 of the book. So I'm kind of, when you put that into movies, a 3-act movie, it's where in that will that fall? That's what I'm concerned about. And where does Major Rackham come into it?
Right.
And I'm concerned about how they make that transition from Battle School to Command School.
Oh yeah, and it's a story that doesn't divide itself neatly into a 3-act Hollywood structure. On the other hand, is the fact that this guy who's writing it and directing it comes from South Africa and has a completely different maybe view of the world, is that a good thing because he won't try to cram it into a 3-act Hollywood structure. He's going to make it organically fit the story. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to be watching this film with lots of nerves and lots of anticipation. I'm stoked for it, but I'm terrified. So tell us what you think, your thoughts on Ender's Game, and
also your thoughts on movie adaptations in general from books. We debate that often.
Oh, we do.
So give us your thoughts and leave comments down below, and we'll be around.
See ya.